Welcome back to the Wildchat. My name is Callie Wallace, and I'll be talking about everything you need to know about MHS. Today, we have the fabulous Miss Hudgens with us today.
Too kind.
So, why don't you just start by introducing yourself, letting us know how long you've been here, all the fun stuff.
Well, I'm Dina Hudgens, and honestly, I kind of lose track of how long I've been here, but it's over 20 years. I think about 22 years. And I've been a business instructor that whole time. And over the years, some of those classes have evolved. Started out with just basically business concepts and accounting and marketing. And we added AP Economics in and social media marketing,
Yes.
which is what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. So then, you're also involved in FBLA and a few other clubs, aren't you?
That's true. I am one of the advisors for Future Business Leaders of America, and that has been around, the club itself has been around for decades in Marion and has a strong history. And then Friends in Christ, I am an advisor with that group as well with Mrs. Bowley.
That is awesome. Yeah. So let's just jump on in and talk about social media marketing. This is obviously what we're doing right now. This podcast is through social media.
Sure.
We have two other podcasts, so why don't you talk about
That's
those?
correct. Well, we have one that was started by Connor Wade, and that one is called the Wildcat Wrap Up, and it basically covers the sports events going on at MHS, and it was gone for a couple years, and then it was revived. Ethan Stout brought it back, and we have seen it continue to thrive, and this year Callahan, Roper, and Blake Blue are doing that. And then we have a new one that started this year called Wildcat Voices, which is just getting started, kind of like this. And it is going to highlight kind of, the backstories of students and things that students are involved in at MHS or even outside of school. I think a lot of times people don't realize what complicated lives students lead.
Yes.
And all that they're involved in and just all the obligations on them and things like that. So I think it'll be a good thing for people to see that perspective from students. And then we have yours.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So, it's definitely been a process getting this started.
That's true.
For sure. What all have we done?
Well, we brainstormed, ideas to kind of have, what's the purpose, what's the point behind the podcast. And, we've kind of laid out some ideas for episodes so that we have a good flow of content. But it did take time to kind of get our logo established, get all the equipment lined out. We had some of the equipment. Again, Connor Wade, who started Wildcat Wrap Up, was very generous and contributed this setup to us to get us started. But when we decided we want to do video podcasting as well, there was another layer that we had to do a little research on the best way to do all that. And so we're learning as we go, but that's the exciting thing.
It
is I think we're going to see some really neat growth and progression overall of the quality. And so I'm very excited.
Me too. So there's a lot that goes into social media. We do a lot, and I don't think people realize what all we do. So what do you have, like a format or a layout that you have to keep us structured and keep us going?
That is always a challenge just for me. But yes, we do have a weekly calendar that basically has our staple items. So the goal is to create some content every day that goes out. And so we have our regular features that people look forward to, the alumni feature, the staff spotlight, the throwback Thursdays, senior spotlights. And then, of course, we try to layer that with a lot of student interest posts, things that are going on just in our building that might be fun. But we like to also include information. So our goals basically are to inform, to get students involved, and just to really tell the story of Marion High School. And it is a full-time job. We do the best that we can, and I think it's funny. A lot of times we may get messages from people and they think that this is like administration running the account, and they'll ask about things that we have to refer them to the office, and we kind of have a standard answer. This is a student-run account,
Yes.
and we are doing the work of social media people.
Definitely.
And so a couple years back, that's why we decided to start calling the students in this class social media interns, because you are literally doing a job that businesses pay people to do.
Yes.
And so a lot of times it looks like we're just running around having fun, which it is fun.
It is very fun.
But also there are times that it's stressful when we have deadlines
yeah.
to meet, and you know, we have a lot of creative freedom. I really appreciate our administrators allowing that, but also we have parameters being high school
Yes.
students, that we also need to make sure, you know, we represent our building well, and then get information out that people need in a timely manner. So sometimes that's very stressful.
It is. Going back to getting paid, right now we make no money from any of our,
That is true.
so we're not like making any money. But what you can do is you can follow us on TikTok.
Yes, yes.
And what's the goal for that?
If we hit 10,000 on TikTok or Instagram, then we can start monetizing that. And then my goal would be to offer stipends to the interns. So it's not going to pad my retirement or anything like that. It would be to get the interns something, you know,
Yes.
to express gratitude for the work that they do.
So we all have specific jobs.
Yes.
So I do a student live post on Tuesdays, and then I have my podcast. And obviously we help with whatever we're thrown into. But I want to shout out all the kids that do like the Gippers.
Yes.
Would you be willing to like explain that? And
Sure. So we have a program that Mr. Gadiski uses. It's called Gipper, but it is a software package that allows us to do game day posts. And so Mr. Gadiski passes off the weekly schedule to our athletics team. And we have two seniors who lead that team, and that's Callahan Roper and Paisley Freeborn. And then within their team, they divide up responsibilities to make sure that every team that's competing gets a shout out on game day, so that our community members know they're competing, and hopefully they show up and support them. And it is one of those jobs that is really behind the scenes, because they don't do videos or things like that with it. It is just, it's getting them that information out, but it does take a lot of attention to detail to make sure you get the times and locations right, and they do a good job with
They
it.
do such a great job, and I just wanted to give them a little shout out.
Yes.
I feel like they don't get very much recognition.
I appreciate
but
that you thought of that.
They
Yes.
definitely deserve it, because they do an amazing job, and I think so far we haven't missed a Gipper.
I don't think so. If we did, I'm not disclosing it.
So we just
I will say Mr. Gadiski is very good about
Yes.
checking the socials every morning to make sure everything goes out when it's supposed to. And Callahan does our weekly calendar for athletics, and that is very detailed, and he makes sure that goes out every Sunday. And again, they both have to really watch, you know, to make sure we get accurate information out for people.
So then our next biggest thing, I would say, is probably our student life posts. So how do you like monitor those and make sure that those are okay to go out?
Well, at the beginning of each school year, Mr. Williams comes in, our principal, and he just addresses the students, and he kind of gives us an idea of the general messaging, you know, that he would like people to know about our school if they're not here and inside the building. And then from there, we ask him, you know, like, are there certain things that you really think people need to know more about? And we may get calls in the middle of the week like, hey, can you let people know about this or that? And we try to find a creative way to do that. When I say we, I mean the students. So we have a weekly team meeting. We look at what's trending, you know, if there are particular sounds or videos that are catching people's eye and showing up a lot on the For You page. We then say, all right, how can we take this trend and turn it into a message that needs to go out? And quite honestly, of our top 3 TikToks, 2 of them were informational in nature. One was to encourage students to turn in work on time, and it happened to go viral. And then the other one was about, I think, cell phones or Chromebooks. That may not be the top 3, but definitely the top 5.
Oh yeah.
Things like that, like having your cell phone put away. Our metal detector one went off pretty well. So again, it kind of depends on the needs of the building, and then we just fill in fun.
It's
which is
definitely hard trying to find trends. It's a lot harder than some may think, trying to find trends and getting them to fit to the high school.
Yes.
And still, fit what we want people to see of us and all that sort of fun stuff that we have to do.
True.
So then we also have an athletics team that does like athletic posts throughout the week.
Yes.
So that would...
And those kind of supplement our Gippers, and that's where we try to make sure people see the personal side of the student athletes. There are a lot of opportunities to maybe watch a game and talk about what happened in the game, but not really know the players. And so a lot of times we'll do game day interviews or just fun things so that they can express their personalities. And we're working really hard to feature every team at least once. Sometimes it's really hard to do that. Like our cross country team practices at 6 a.m, and we have found that challenging, to catch some of their practices and things like that. But our goal is we want the very diverse population and interests of our students to be showcased, and that includes athletics. So
a recent reel on Instagram with cross-country runner Kara Odom,
yes,
that's been doing pretty well.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yes, shout out to Kara. She was a great sport and jumped right in on a trend, and she is a 4-time state cross-country qualifier, and we wanted to highlight that.
Yes.
We wanted people to know that about her, and she was willing to do that in a fun way with us, which always makes it better when you have willing subjects.
So is there anything else that really goes on behind the scenes that might not be seen?
Well, there is a lot more planning than it looks like. There are things that are just kind of, we get inspired and we decide to do something. But, in our meeting this week, we were talking about all the way through December, things that need to get done. We have people that are monitoring our comments that might happen on our feeds. And they don't get a lot of credit for that either. But that is something that we do have to watch, especially being a school account. So there are people that do that. There are people that have to proofread everything, and we're human and we do make mistakes, but every post is supposed to be proofread a couple of times before it goes out. There's editing of these videos, photography that's happening. And we are still working on a lot of those skills. To me, it's really early in the year, honestly. It's early November, but we've only been at this about 8 to 10 weeks, honestly. So we're learning, how to use Canva and software like that to develop graphics. And so there's a lot that has to go on behind the scenes. We spent probably 3 weeks just planning, talking about, what image we want to project and our branding and
who goes and works on what.
We have a whole brand kit that everybody has to be trained on, what colors and fonts, and these are details that people looking at our content probably don't think anything about, but those are things that we care about. We're following college accounts. And we challenge ourselves to be, more professional all the time. So.
It's definitely I've noticed, because I'm on the comment monitoring team, and I've noticed I'll be in my own free time at home or somewhere, scrolling on TikTok, I see one of our TikToks, and immediately I'm going to the comments and I'm checking and making sure there's nothing bad and making sure everything's okay. And if I don't, I hop over to that page, delete those real quick, and move on. But it's definitely... There's more work that goes into it than just posting TikToks, posting Instagrams. Even the Canvas on Instagram, those are hard work to make too. Yes.
And even when we have a great idea, there's a certain amount of selling that idea to get people to do it. We love showcasing our staff, but sometimes it takes some convincing, to get to get people to jump
Yes.
in, and so there's a lot of planning and coordinating schedules. Like to film this podcast, sometimes you're getting pulled out of my 6-hour class because that's what works best for the other
Right.
person that you're interviewing. And so there is a lot of behind the scenes work that our
Definitely.
students do pull off, and it makes me really proud of them because it's an operation.
It definitely is. Well, I think that we jumped in, we hit the ground running. We haven't slowed down.
No.
I don't think it'll ever slow down.
We're not going to.
But it's so much fun, and I am very excited to see how much more we improve and how far these new podcasts come and our new interns and everything.
Me too. Thank you, Callie.
Thanks for joining me today and getting your perspective on things. I appreciate it. And just let me know if there's anyone that you guys want to have interviewed or want to see.
All right, thanks.
Come back next week.